Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the NoDQ.com live predictions video for the biggest party of the summer, SummerSlam 2021 from Las Vegas, Nevada. And we also have some quick predictions for the NXT Takeover 36 pay-per-view, which is on Sunday. SummerSlam, of course, on Saturday. Not too often we get Saturday WWE pay-per-views, but we do have one. So real quick, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to check with everybody and see how they feel about this pay-per-view. Virtue, I'll start with you. How are you feeling about SummerSlam? And for the hell of it, how are you feeling about NXT TakeOver 36?
SummerSlam, we're going to go 8 out of 10 because of John Cena versus Roman Reigns and maybe a little bit of Edge versus Seth Rollins. NXT, 1 out of 10. I am disconnected from NXT, and I don't know if it's really their fault. There's just too much wrestling on TV. I just can't take all of that in 1 week. It's just a lot.
All right.
I don't know how you guys do it.
We'll throw it over to the simple man who loves wrestling, loves life. Noah, how you feeling about SummerSlam and the NXT TakeOver 36 pay-per-view?
To echo the sentiments of Virtue, definitely 8 out of 10. It's definitely Seth Rollins versus Edge and John Cena versus Roman. That definitely has excited me the most. And I'll give some subtle credit to Sasha Banks now having an entourage versus Belair. Take the match in a different direction. As far as TakeOver, as someone who does watch wrestling 6 days a week all over the place, including the Forbidden Door, based on what I've seen between Raw and SmackDown before and during and the TakeOver and the NXT product, probably a more respectable because I've been a fan of it, not as strong now. I'll say a 3 out of 10. I'm looking forward to Eli versus Walter, if nothing else. And hey, Joe back in action, that should be good. But overall, this weekend should be fairly entertaining. And it's good to see y'all.
Good to see you as well, Noah. And let's throw it over to Steve-O from Too Sweet Cosplay. How's it going? How you feeling about these two shows?
Hey, good. Yeah, glad to be here again. Always a pleasure to be with you guys. Noah, first time working with you here on this, so nice to finally speak with you here live on No DQ. So, in short,
Thanks,
I'm just gonna get to it. Takeover. I'm gonna give it like a 7 out of 10, just because I'm not fully invested. I mean, I don't think Karrion Kross being on the main roster has been doing it any favors for building any excitement. I'll get to my prediction when it comes time, but yeah, it's a decent looking card over there. Meanwhile, SummerSlam, I'm going to go 6 or 7 out of 10 on that, just because, I fully expect the pay-per-view itself to be good. The John Cena, Roman Reigns stuff has been gold. The other stuff could use a little bit of a better build-up, but I'm here to discuss the matches with you guys, so I'm looking to do it right now with you all.
All right, let's get to it. For me, I'm pretty stoked about SummerSlam. Not so much the Raw side of it, more the SummerSlam side, or not SummerSlam side, the Smackdown. That's one. Let's keep track here.
I certainly will.
Side. Smackdown is looking great as far as SummerSlam goes. Raw, not so much. So I'll go maybe 7 or 8 out of 10. NXT, probably a 4 or 5. I am looking forward to some of the matches. But let's go ahead and start with NXT TakeOver 36. Real quick, we'll do our quick picks for TakeOver 36, and then we'll get to the SummerSlam card. I will go ahead and start with my quick picks for the TakeOver pay-per-view. Of course, this coming Sunday night, we have TakeOver 36 at the Capitol Wrestling Center, which that's another disappointment. I was hoping they would have done this show in Las Vegas at one of those smaller venues that hold maybe 4,000 or 5,000 people. I think that would have really added to the atmosphere of the show. I'm not sure why they're doing it at the Capitol Wrestling Center. I don't know if it has to do with COVID or they just don't want to spend the money on it. Either way, it's disappointing, but I do think it will be an entertaining TakeOver. TakeOver always delivers. They've yet to not deliver, in my opinion, with TakeOver. So real quick, I will do my predictions. We have Walter versus Draganov for the UK Championship. interesting to see a UK title match on the Takeover pay-per-view. Walter's been champion how long, Noah?
Pretty close now to 900 days. It's 800 something.
I'm going to go ahead and say he finally loses it on this pay-per-view. Now, they had a killer match last year with no fans, which is why I'm really looking forward to this one, because with fans, would have been even better with a bigger crowd, but even having 300 people there will make a big difference. I do think we're going to get a new champion, though, and this could be the match of the night. Raquel Gonzalez versus Dakota Kai. Now, Dakota Kai has been doing dark matches, so I could see her being called up. I'm going to go ahead and say Raquel retains, even though Dakota could be next in line and Raquel's been champ for a while. I still think we're going to see the champ retain here, and Dakota's going to go to the main roster. LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes, singles match for the $1 Million Championship. If Grimes loses, DiBiase must become Knight's butler. I am going to say that Cameron Grimes will pull off the win here. We'll have the feel-good moment, and he's not going to lose again. He already lost before to LA Knight. Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole, 2 out of 3 falls match. First fall is a traditional wrestling match. Second fall is a street fight, and a third match if necessary. Now, we all know it's probably going to be 3 falls because people are wanting to see the cage match. Yes, we do see from time to time falls, 2 falls, and no third fall. We see it once in a while, but I'm going to say that first fall, Adam Cole will win, giving him the heel advantage. Second fall, O'Reilly will win. And then the third fall, I'm going to say O'Reilly wins because Adam Cole is apparently either going to sign a new contract or he's out the door. If he's out the door, then obviously Kyle O'Reilly goes over. And even if Cole stays in WWE, I think if he does stay, he's going to go to the main roster. And thus, again, it makes sense that Kyle O'Reilly wins the match. So Kyle O'Reilly will win overall. And Noah, should we do like a point for each fall just for fun?
I mean, yeah, why not? You're the boss.
All right, but so we'll point for each fall. Cole will win the first fall because he's the heel. O'Reilly second, and then O'Reilly will win the third. And then finally, Samoa Joe making his big return versus Karrion Kross. I thought I would be way more excited for Joe returning than I am, but I'm not really feeling it all that much. Maybe that's because Karrion Kross has been losing on Raw. I think it's pretty clear to me that Joe's going to win this and Kross will be fully on the main roster, completely done with NXT. So I'm going to go with Samoa Joe to win the championship. And on that, I'll throw it over to Steve-O. Let him give his thoughts on the show.
All right, so I'll try to remember the order as much as possible. First off, with Walter and Dragunov, I'm guilty. I've not seen their UK Classic that I've been hearing a lot of praise for. I should go and watch it over on the network or, Peacock, I guess, sometime. That being said, I think that Walter will continue his long dominant reign over at NXT UK because I'm not really sure if there's anybody. I don't watch the show, I'm not going to lie, so I don't really know what's going on over there. So I'm not sure who would be a formidable foe to take it off him. Let's see. Dakota Kai versus Raquel Gonzalez. I think Raquel will retain it for now. I think the feud will continue. I think at some point Dakota will take the title off her. And I know Dakota's done a few matches on main event, or at least one match. So one of them will be called up sooner rather than later. Let's see. Cameron Grimes versus LA Knight. I think that Grimes will be the victor in this match. I know LA's kind of had an upper hand on him, but I think that Grimes is going to get his time to shine and he'll be the $1 Million champion. Let's see. Is there another match I'm missing before I get to Samoa Joe and Karrion Kross?
The 2 out of 3 falls?
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, I think, there's a lot of circulation going on, whether or not Adam Cole's leaving or not. I'm going to go in the mindset whether he leaves or stays. They'll just have Kyle O'Reilly win this best of 3. if Cole ultimately does stay, I think it's time for a new feud for them going forward and just see where it goes from there. But as far as the falls go, I'll go with Kyle getting the first one, Adam getting the second one, Kyle coming out the victor in the steel cage match at the end. Finally, Karrion Kross versus Samoa Joe. Maybe it would have been more exciting. I mean, yeah, like you said, Aaron, yeah, Samoa Joe finally getting back in the ring, being in NXT. You think that would be more hype surrounding, but I think Karrion's cameos over on the main roster is probably killing it a bit, especially since he's lost a couple matches. So Samoa Joe takes the NXT title. Karrion Kross goes over permanently on the main roster as another guy.
All right, let's throw it over to the simple man, Noah Foster.
All right, let's see what we got here. Cameron Grimes versus LA Knight. If LA Knight wins, Teddy Biasi's a butler. No chance in hell that's happening. Cameron Grimes gets a feel-good moment. Raquel Gonzalez versus Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai is on a one-way trip to the main roster. She's been involved in multiple Royal Rumbles for a reason. Dark matches galore. Raquel Gonzalez is retaining. Let's see what else we got here. 2 out of 3 falls match. Adam Cole, baby, versus Kyle O'Reilly. First fall, pinfall, or submission. Kyle O'Reilly is out to prove a point. So I would go with Kyle O'Reilly since he has yet to do that against Adam Cole in a sanctioned match. Second fall, street fight. Clearly, Adam Cole is going to take advantage of that, abuse Kyle O'Reilly. No way this isn't going to a third fall. Steel cage would be involved. Wouldn't surprise me if it was a similar steel cage. Virtue, you and I were at NXT Takeover Toronto 2. We saw what they did with Gargano and Adam Cole. It's the exact same formula, except this time Adam Cole loses. I have Kyle O'Reilly winning the third fall. Now, as far as Eli Draganov versus Walter, definitely my most anticipated match. I feel like here it's America. Going off a statistic standpoint, I got Eli somehow overcoming the Ligne General. Should be an incredible fight. And last but not least, Samoa Joe versus Karrion Kross. Joe is here to make Kross pay the toll. Samoa Joe becomes the new NXT champion. And that's all I got to say about that.
All right. And Virtue, I have a feeling you're going to make this short and sweet. So go ahead.
I'm going to try to – I want to go 0 for 5. I want to pick the wrong one on every one of these. So Walter with a long title reign, it's a coin flip to me on these ones. So I want to see if I can go 0 for 5. I'm going to say Dragonov's going to win the title, the United Kingdom Championship.
Oh, thanks.
Dakota Kai will win the NXT Women's Championship. LA Knight will retain, and Ted DiBiase will become his butler because that's such a – I know Vince McMahon's not down there, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. But that LA Knight will win. I'm going to go Karrion Kross retaining against Samoa Joe, and Adam Cole's going to win the best of 3 falls. It'll go O'Reilly, Cole.
All right.
There you go.
I will be very amused if you got these all correct.
Me too. That'd be brilliant.
You know, this would be if I was booking down there and I kind of figured what the internet would say. I'd want to pick exactly the opposite winners overall. But maybe this will make it fun for me. Maybe I want to watch it now because I want to see if I can get these right.
Got to entertain yourself. All right. Let's get to SummerSlam. We got 10 matches, folks, so we got a lot to cover here. Let's dive right into it. I'm going to start with the tag team titles match over on Raw. This match was just made last week. Randy Orton teaming up with Matt Riddle, RK Bro versus Omos and AJ Styles. So I'm going to throw it over to Noah first on this one. We have a tag team that's like an odd couple. They're pretty hot right now. They got a good reaction on Raw. Do you think we're going to get new tag team champions, or do you think Omos will continue to be unstoppable, or do you think Orton and Riddle will break up? What do you think's going to happen at SummerSlam?
I think at this point it has to be RK Bro for the win in the most unique RKO ever seen on Omos, where Randy Orton has Riddle on his shoulders and Riddle hits the RKO. At this point, AJ Styles and Omos have defeated the New Day, the Viking Raiders, and that is literally the entire Raw tag team division. They wouldn't have done this little bit of a tease about RK Bro being no longer a thing, causing people to go, oh no, and then bringing them back together at the end of the show to make people go yes and be excited. I think we're going to get new tag team champions, but this should be entertaining if nothing else.
All right. Now, Virtue, I know you've said a lot of things about Riddle, how Riddle is Vince's boy toy. He's been pushed very strongly. He's paired up with Randy Orton. You think we're going to get new champs?
That's the safe pick. But, I mean, I'm making this an interesting weekend. I'm not taking the safe pick. Although maybe it's not. AJ and Omos are going to retain, in my opinion, because Randy Orton is finally going to get his from a Matt Riddle that snaps. And, right, I don't have to have that part be right. As long as AJ and Omos retain, I get the point. But exactly. I'm going to that's what I'm going to say. But I'm going to say we're going to get something cool. Like maybe we'll get that heel Matt Riddle turn. But no title change. Nope.
I hope we get it at some point, but I highly doubt they're going to do it this soon. They got merchandise to sell. But, Steve-O, what do you think about this? Do you think there's any chance that there might be some kind of swerve here? What do you think?
Hey, can you hear me okay? Sorry, I'm dealing with technical difficulties.
It's all good.
Hey, can you hear me okay? Sorry.
Oh, we're getting big feedback.
Yeah.
Dealing with technical difficulties.
Echo.
Yeah, Botchamania here tonight.
Hi, Matthew.
All right, so I'll give my prediction on AJ Omos, then I'm going to try switching back. I just had a lot of static on the other feed. So, all right, as far as AJ and
well, I can't read lips.
Bro.
We lost them.
That's my prediction for now. We'll see how it goes from there.
What?
Yeah. So.
You
okay, you can hear me now?
Yeah, so go
yes.
redo that.
But yeah,
that one.
I'm just going with RK Bro. I'll be back. I'm going to switch it over to another medium.
That was brilliant.
All right, let's move on to the next match on our card, which, oh boy. I mean, maybe this is a good time for Steve-O to figure out.
What am I looking at right here? Like, what is this? What's going on here?
This is what we call a filler match. This is a match that I think is going to be in between two of the big matches on the show. It's not going to be long. It's probably just going to be an angle. I don't even know what to say about this one. I have no idea how to predict it. It's silly. It's just thrown together. And I'll go ahead and say Alexa Bliss wins. Just for the hell of it. I have no idea what's going to happen here, nor do I really care. What happened to Noah?
Is this a one-on-one match or a two-on-one? What's going on?
It's a one-on-one match.
So Dewdrop is in the corner of Eva?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, Steve-O, now that you're back, let's try this again. Get your thoughts. And if you want to add anything about the RK Bro match, and then your thoughts on the Eva Marie versus Alexa Bliss match.
So I came back just in time for the bathroom break, right?
Yes.
Correct. Correct.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. All right. And yeah, I'm not getting as much static as before, so thank God for that. But anyways, while I like Alexa Bliss quite a bit, I cannot stand this character she has with Lily, and this feud with the Evolution is just driving me nuts. Unless something cool like Brock Lesnar shows up and actually joins the Evolution and causes Alexa to lose this one. I don't care. As you say, Aaron, I have little to no interest in this match. I guess the prediction I'll make on this is maybe Dewdrop finally betrays Eva and causes Alexa Bliss to win the match some way, somehow. Otherwise, I just don't care. That's pretty much all I have to say about that.
All right, we'll throw it over to Virtue.
You know, Eva winning this match I'd say would piss fans off, but fans just don't care about either one of them. Nothing, Alexa Bliss, multiple-time champion in WWE. Unfortunately, she got dumped off the Bray Wyatt gimmick, the Fiend type gimmick, as they sent him packing. So I'll say Alexa Bliss will win this match, just for whatever reason. And we're getting a lot of feedback and static going on.
Oh, damn. I'll mute it.
All right, Noah Foster, what do you think?
Why do I feel like Dewdrop is a giant raindrop Pokemon just waiting to be caught in Pokemon Go? That being said, we've already seen based on what you have told me, this weird doll that blinks. What the hell? Are we trying to get Chucky a girlfriend? Anyway, I feel like here, Alexa Bliss, the gimmick, the voodoo, it's going to go over here. I have Alexa Bliss winning. I see her literally hypnotizing Doudrop to slap Eva Marie for Eva Marie slapping Doudrop on Monday Night Raw. Bliss going over. Whatever.
All right, yeah, I agree. Bliss will win this match. And the shorter that it's over, the better. All right, Next up, we have Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal. And here, Shanky, the bodyguards of Mahal, the Lankies, whatever you want to call them, they are barred from ringside. They will not be there. And to me, this is just going to be an easy win for McIntyre. But Virtue, I'm wondering if you're gonna try to go against what most people are gonna predict.
No, I'd like to pick Jinder Mahal here.
I know.
If this was like for a championship, if he was like the United States champion or something like that was on the line, I could definitely see him beating Drew. But because it's just one-on-one and it's going to be all about that sword, Drew McIntyre is going to go over here against Jinder. But I don't know. Hopefully it's not too long of a match so people don't chant boring, or next. But, Drew's going to win here. Pretty uneventful. He'll do the 1, 2, 3 Claymore. The arena will chant along. You know how that works.
Right, yeah. I think this is just going to be a basic match, maybe the opener of the show. Drew McIntyre will win. Noah Foster, we'll go ahead and get your thoughts as you type out something very important.
Just checking stuff. Basically, I got McIntyre going over here. This feud's been surrounding 3 things: a sword, a motorcycle, and a steel chair being hit over one of Jinder's goons 30 times. And now Drew McIntyre's gotten the better of Jinder's goons. They're banned from ringside. Why you would think, based on WWE logic, that the face has momentum going into the pay-per-view and they would lose? I think McIntyre is going over here for a feel-good moment for the fans. Because unless Great Khali shows up, Jinder Mahal ain't winning this, in my opinion.
All right, and Steve-O, we'll get your thoughts.
Yeah, this match is another one where it's just like, God, really? Are we going to have to deal with this? I've just never been a fan of Jinder Mahal as a superstar at all. His world championship reign, one of the worst ever, in my opinion. This feud with Drew, having all these boring matches and segments on Raw. Probably the most exciting segment was, I think it was Shanky singing Happy Birthday that one time. That's about as far as it goes for there. And yeah, like Noah mentioned, just having Jinder's henchmen lose that, match on Raw the other night and not being able to be in Jinder's corner. What's Jinder going to do? Is he going to get somebody else to help him? I don't think so. Should be an easy win for Drew. Hopefully not too long of a match, but we'll see what happens.
Cleaver Colin Andrews says Jinder Mania will run wild.
Brother.
All right, then. Next up, we have Sheamus versus Damien Priest for the United States Championship. Sheamus has really not done much as the U.S. champion. He got his nose busted up. He has been doing matches with Humberto and Ricochet. Kind of a lackluster title run, and I think the sooner it ends, the better, with all due respect to Sheamus. I think Damien Priest needs something to get some momentum going. So I will say new champion Damien Priest. Steve-O, will go right back to you. Your thoughts on this one?
I'll concur on that. I think they've actually been doing a pretty damn good job on building up Damien Priest over on Raw. I think his entrance is very awesome. I enjoy that. He's not too bad of a talent, in my opinion. I think he has the look. I think if they play their cards right, he could be something special for Raw, or if he gets drafted over to SmackDown for whatever reason, he could be something over there. Meanwhile, like Sheamus, lackluster title reign. He took the title off of Matt Riddle, hasn't done anything really too noteworthy, in my opinion. I'm just going to go with Damien Priest all the way. New champion. Hopefully he can make things exciting.
All right, we'll throw it over to Virtue.
I think this will be a good match. Sheamus usually delivers at pay-per-views, and so this could be a chance for Damien Priest to shine, going head to head with Sheamus on the big stage. Again, doesn't mean much because the U.S. title's secondary, maybe not even secondary, just kind of on Sheamus. So I think we'll have a good match, Aaron. But I think Damien Priest will win this and put the title on him, and we'll see if they can try to start making somebody like him feel more important. They can build future stars. Although I know this guy's like in his mid-30s, but I
40.
Yeah, so I think it'll be a good match. I'm going to go Damien Priest as well to win the title.
All right. No, Foster, you're going to go against us and take a chance?
No, fella. Sheamus is definitely one of my favorite workers, but I feel like this is Damien Priest's moment to really try and bring himself to be something higher. He seems to have a good favoritism in the bag and with the locker room. I feel that he has definitely a look that Vince can use towards merchandise and maybe attract an audience as well. So I think that we're going to get a new champion here. He's had some strong momentum lately on Monday Night Raw, and Sheamus really doesn't have anyone else we could think of that could really be, a good challenger, let alone a good passing of the torch for this title. And really, I feel that's what Sheamus is right now. So I have a new champion. I think Damien Priest is going to get it done.
All right. Damien Priest for the win. We'll see what happens this Saturday at the SummerSlam pay-per-view. And now we'll move on to the SmackDown Women's Championship match, which last time I checked will be happening on Saturday, even though both of them missed live events over the weekend. We have Bianca Belair defending against Sasha Banks. So the question is, does Sasha win her rematch, or does Bianca Belair win and then they still have another match, because that's how WWE operates? So it could really go either way. Virtue, will start off with you on this one. Will Sasha Banks get the title back, or is it going to be a third match? Either way, I suspect there's going to be a third match with them. What do you think is going to happen?
Bianca Belair has plenty of time to win more championships. She's had it since WrestleMania, so she had her moment. The reason why I'm going to go Sasha here, winning it back, like I said on the review last week, I just am feeling when Becky comes back, the first thing we might get with Becky is Becky and Sasha right out of the gates.
Yeah.
Bring back. So I'm going to put the title and my pick on Sasha to maybe set that up. And if we know this is going to be a good match, right? Even if they're working hurt, it'll probably still be one of the better matches on the card.
Yeah, it's tough to say, I think, because Raw really needs something to boost up that division, and Becky coming back would help. But Becky's also been part of Raw for a while, and you have to keep in mind that her man, Seth Rollins, is over on SmackDown, although Seth could always move back over to Raw. So it's a really tough call. Noah, what do you think?
Well, with the whole idea of Becky and Seth being together in the same brand and the inevitable draft, that's one outlook. But I also think about Sasha Banks basically becoming the lead partner or the lead member of this entourage she has with her, instantly defending on Carmella. I almost wonder if Sasha Banks trying to be Beyonce, the lead member of Destiny's Child, the most important one that got over. That being said, this is going to be a really good match. Both these ladies are incredible workers. They can work injured or hurt. And I feel like the result here is going to come down to how they use the braid again. We saw the angle last week on SmackDown where literally Sasha was using the bank statement with Bianca's braid. I almost feel like this could be a continuation still, especially with Sasha Banks having lackeys in her corner. I see Bianca literally just whipping the hell out of everybody. But considering Sasha Banks is back now, I could see Sasha Banks becoming the new champion. But I'm going to go on a tangent here and say, because they got nobody else in that SmackDown women's division, if Becky doesn't show up, Virtue, to challenge either of these ladies, I think they might continue the program with these two until the draft. I'm going to say Bianca holds on to the gold via DQ.
Well, Becky doesn't have to come back for me to still get my point right if Sasha wins the title. So
that is true. But I think Bianca is going to retain somehow. They're going to drag this thing out, especially since Sasha has an entourage now.
We have a $250 SAR super chat from Sunhat. He says, "Hey, Aaron, happy 10th year anniversary reviewing on this channel. I have great memories following for the last decade. Congrats and have a nice day." We very much appreciate that. Thank you, Sunhat, for tuning in.
Very generous.
Channel. Yes, thank you very much for that.
Indeed.
And let's go over to Steve-O now with your thoughts on this match.
Okay, so I'm looking forward to it. I think this will be a pretty solid rematch. Glad Sasha is back to being a heel. That's her at her best, in my personal opinion. I'm never too wild about her face runs. So this is kind of tricky. Like, in one way, yes, Bianca's been champion since WrestleMania. However, the only really real feud she's had is with Bayley, like the past couple months up until Sasha's return, and then I guess she had that little mini spackle with Carmella before the pay-per-view due to Bayley's injury before Money in the Bank. So I don't know. Like, I almost think it might be too soon for Bianca to drop the title. I think she could have had some a little more memorable feuds. However, Sasha returning hot as a heel, I don't know. I think it's too much to pass up. And then Virtue pointing out that, hey, maybe Becky Lynch is going to show up. One of these two women's matches, the title matches, mind you, I think we're going to see Becky in some capacity at SummerSlam. The question is which one. For now, though, I'm just going to go with Sasha Banks becoming the new women's champion. I believe it's her second SmackDown title reign. So, yeah, we'll see where it goes. Maybe Becky will show up, or maybe she and Bianca will just have another pay-per-view feud, or maybe a couple more pay-per-views. So we'll see.
I think I am going to go with the champ retaining, but I could see this one going either way. I would not be shocked if Sasha Banks won the title. I do think that Bianca will win. I suspect Sasha will go over to Raw. That's why I'm thinking that Bianca will win. Now, of course, Sasha could win the title, and then they could have their third match at the next pay-per-view, Extreme Rules, and then Bianca could win it back. But I'll go ahead and just say Bianca retains the title, and Sasha will move over to Raw, and maybe Becky Lynch moves to SmackDown. Maybe they get a good heel over on SmackDown to feud with Bianca at some point. All right. So with that being said, we'll move on to the next match of the evening, which is Edge versus Seth Rollins. This is a pretty big match. This is what some people are calling a dream match. So the question is, will Edge pick up a win here after losing at Money in the Bank? He's coming off that loss, but if this is the first match between them, maybe it would make more sense for Seth Rollins to win. And I say that because that's typically what would make sense. But in WWE, of course, you never know. They might have Edge win and then Seth Rollins still gets a rematch just because that's how they do things. Rematches when there's no real reason to do a rematch, but they do it anyways. So, Steve-O, you're back with us again. Let's get your thoughts on this one. At least I think he's here. Steve-O, you here? I guess not.
Watch.
Right. So we will not be going to Steve-O first. Virtue, we'll go with you right now.
I really like Seth Rollins here. I know a lot of people, you know, it's a mixed bag. I love the clothes that he wears, and you know, when you're anything over the top and outlandish, I mean, it's still Seth Rollins at the core. And I feel like you would think like a veteran like Edge would have Rollins go over, but Rollins has done a lot, and he doesn't need to win these kind of matches. I think Edge does. So this is one of the other matches that's not Cena and Reigns that I'm excited for. And I think Edge is going to go over in the match, and it's probably going to have a lot of false finishes, which in this instance I'm okay with. I won't be opposed if Rollins wins, but I think my brain is telling me pick Edge here, so I will. Noah?
All right.
Well, the thing is, I think about Edge and Seth, but I also think about Seth's last program. You know, Virtue, he of course faced Cesaro, and Cesaro of course got the win, but then Seth got his win back in a very great match with near falls and false finishes as well, which simply a roll-up. I also consider the schedule of WWE, the next pay-per-view being Extreme Rules. While Seth has been focusing on taking out Edge's neck, I can see Seth being the ultimate opportunist and maybe resorting to Edge's game, a concerto, and maybe that could lead to like a chairs match at the next pay-per-view. This is one of those matches that could go either way as well. When I think about SummerSlam, there were 3 matches I truly cared about on this show. This is the second of those 3. But thinking about the fall schedule here, and Seth wants to go after Roman, but can you set up a heel versus heel program and make it work? I'm just going to say for right now that Seth pulls this out. He felt like last week he says he has to win here, almost like he's desperate now, it seems, just to prove that I am not Edge Light. I am not just somebody that's stuck in your shadow. You're no longer the burden that holds me down. While Edge keeps talking about he's the guy that's always been in the way of Seth's path. So, yeah, I think just to be a little different, I'm going to say that Seth pulls out the win here and maybe resorts to dirty tactics and tries to assault Edge with a concerto afterwards. But Seth, I have winning.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to go with Edge winning just because he lost at Money in the Bank, and I think he needs to pick up another win, but could go either way. My gut feeling, though, is Edge will win it. Steve-O, what do you think is going to happen?
So I'm kind of like going back and forth. I think Seth could use the win, and then Edge could also win too. If I recall correctly, let's see. I mean, Edge did defeat, I believe it was Jay. Was it Jimmy or Jay before taking on Roman at the more recent pay-per-view? He did that, but he also lost the 2 pay-per-view matches. He lost WrestleMania, the Triple Threat. He also lost against Roman Reigns. So it's a very tough call. I'm just trying to think like who would need the win more, but I'm going to go with the feel-good moment with Edge actually winning this one. Maybe Seth will get his win back eventually because WWE does that kind of thing. The match would be a very solid match, as people are pointing out in the chat, 7 years in the making. And yeah, I do like that they've alluded to some of their past history. So we'll see where it goes. Hopefully we'll get a good match out of this. And so for now, I'm calling Edge to win this one.
Yeah, I forgot about WrestleMania. He lost there too. So yeah, I think he'll pick up the win on this one to make up for the previous losses. All right, next up, we still got a lot of matches to go. Jeez. We have the Smackdown Tag Team titles. We have the Usos defending against the Mysterios. Now, the Usos just won the titles at Money in the Bank. I don't think they're going to lose the titles this quickly. I definitely see the Street Profits feuding with the Usos for the titles. To me, this is the easiest match of the night to call. I think it's an easy prediction. The Usos retain. Steve-O, what do you think?
Likewise, I can't see anything but the Usos retaining. Now, the question here is if we get any kind of betrayal from Dominik onto Rey, or let's even say maybe Rey with Dominik. I'm going to lean towards no, but yeah, I mean, that would add some kind of an interesting dynamic, and maybe they can even play in some of the past with the custody between Rey and Eddie back in the past with that. But it should be pretty quick work. I'm expecting a full-on Uso tag title retain. I don't know. How about it, Noah? What's your take?
It's a rematch from Money in the Bank. The only difference is it's not in the kickoff. And while there are subtle shades of Dominik and Mysterio having maybe a fallout, because Dominik might be like, I can do this. Give me a chance. Let me do this more. It's like Dominik's trying maybe to outshine his father. That's like a longer storyline in progress here, but they're playing the seeds. Regardless, the Usos are literally with Roman. They're not in a storyline with Roman. They're with Roman. You don't bet against Roman. Bloodline retains.
Good point. Virtue.
Usos are definitely going to retain. I'd like to get something interesting in this match, and I'd like to see Naomi show up and get involved and help the Usos retain. I mean, let's just not have rumors anymore. We know she's moved over on the SmackDown roster. Just do it. Just let's do it. Let's build this empire like I called a long time ago, and she's in the family. Let's get a female in there. Not saying that's going to happen, but, it's SummerSlam. I like to see interesting stuff like that. Either way, Usos retain.
Imagine Virtue, though, instead of Naomi, it was Nia Jax. They already bopped her away from her previous partner, Shayna, and put her with Charlotte. What would you think if Nia joined the family?
I called that way, way back, right? It doesn't matter to me. People hate her, so she's better heel, Yeah. But to me, it doesn't matter. I mean, Naomi makes sense because she's married to Jimmy, so why not? But Nia's actually in the bloodline. There you go. Build it.
Should be a really good match either way. Looking forward to that one, despite the obvious outcome. Next up, we have a triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship. we have the champion, Nikki A.S.H., Nikki Ash, defending against Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. All right, Noah Foster, how do you feel about Nikki Ash being the almost a superhero, almost a good champion, right? What do you think about this match?
This could almost have potential if the Hurricane was literally her tag partner. I'm not really sure how to interpret this superhero mantra, let alone a gimmick. It's definitely not going to with fans that constantly hear boos all the time. Literally, Christopher Ross was at a house show when Nikki came out. She was booed pretty much out of the building. While Nikki might have some creative direction in this, it's just not going over. But it's a Vince thing that he supports, it seems. It has merchandise potential, so there's almost something good there. That being said, there's the whole philosophy, you don't bet against Charlotte. The only way Charlotte loses is under screwy circumstances, money in the bank. Triple threat here, you protect Charlotte. Is Rhea the one that eats the fall? Do you set up Nikki versus Charlotte one-on-one? Because again, who else do they have on the Raw women's side outside these three that could challenge for the title? Either way, this one is a little weird to me, but do I go with the name or do I go with the merchandise potential? And again, I don't know if Becky's going to show up here either. She did relinquish the Raw Women's Championship. So if Charlotte wins here, then Becky's showing up. Makes a little bit of sense. But do you want Becky versus Charlotte again? The hell of it. We're in Las Vegas, right? I'll just go ahead and throw out a gamble. I'll say Nikki ASH retains and almost loses it. But I'll say she retains.
It's a tough one for me, but I'm thinking that Becky might come back to Raw and feud with Charlotte. So I'm going to go ahead and say that Charlotte wins the title. I know some people are speculating that maybe Charlotte's going to be punished for Ric Flair leaving. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Charlotte will win the title here. Nikki, they're not really pushing her strongly as champion. I mean, she lost twice on Raw. Once cleanly to Rhea, and that she lost in the tag match. I mean, Charlotte's the one that they're really pushing at this point. So I'm going to say Charlotte wins. Virtue, what do you think?
Gosh, let's just hope they don't let Nikki Ash retain. Yeah, this is like a Roman thing. I usually always bet against or bet for Charlotte, pick Charlotte. So, Aaron, I will agree with you. I think Charlotte will become, and this will be what, the 12th time for her now?
If you don't count the NXT title,
well, they're not. Correct. They're obviously not. This is going to bring an interesting point up later on, too, for the main when we talk about Roman and Cena. But, yeah, I think Charlotte, I'm going to pick her to win. Of course, we don't know what Vince McMahon's thinking, or maybe we do. But I don't know. Who's next?
All right, Steve-O.
Hey, yeah, so I think Nikki will almost retain, but she won't because I think Charlotte's going to just go ahead and win this match. You know, I've been trying to get behind this Nikki character because I think it's great that she actually pitched something and Vince McMahon approved it. She was, for months, just working either WWE main event or just hanging out and catering. So it's really a shame that, you know, she's finally getting more TV time and gets to be the champion, but doesn't really seem like this ASH gimmick's taking off. I mean, I was hoping for future potential crossover with the Hurricane and Mighty Molly. Could still happen, but if I care whether it happens, not really. I kind of think that, hey, maybe Charlotte just did that clean win a couple of weeks back on Raw just to say, hey, here's a bone thrown, 50-50 booking. But I think and I know there's the speculation of, Charlotte going to Triple Mania and watching her boy Andrade, when people are speculating, that's going to be punishment there. But I can't see it. WWE has too much faith in her. If anything, maybe Rhea would have a better chance than Nikki, but I'm just going to go with Charlotte to go for title number 12 in accounting of WWE's record tracking.
Yeah, we'll see what happens on that one. I have little to no interest in this match, but I would like to see Rhea Ripley win. However, I am going to go with Charlotte. All right, now we move on to before we get to that, I actually misclicked there. Let me go to this one.
Oh, freaking Lord.
Yeah, Virtue was like, how dare you put Roman Reigns on before this? Roman Reigns is the main event, so we got to make that clear. We got this match for the WWE Championship. Bobby Lashley defending against Jeff Meacham's favorite wrestler, Bill Whisker Biscuit Goldberg. Goldberg's son has been on TV the last few weeks, which makes me wonder, will Gage Goldberg somehow play a role in the outcome of this match? The combined age for this match is 99 years old. It's going to be the usual. I mean, I'd like to say that they do something different and Goldberg actually does some different moves and busts out something we haven't seen before, but it's probably going to be spear, second spear, kick out, jackhammer, kick out. Lashley hits a spear, kick out, 2 more spears from Lashley, and then Goldberg loses, or maybe Gage gets involved. But I'm going to say Bobby Lashley keeps the championship. I do not think we're going to see Big E cash in just yet. I think Big E will get drafted to Raw. That's what I think is going to happen at this point. Big E gets drafted to Raw, and he will eventually cash in on Lashley. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen at this point. Now, of course, there is a possibility Goldberg could somehow pull off the victory here, and then Big E cashes in on Goldberg. But I'm going to go ahead and just say Bobby Lashley wins, and WWE's not going to go there and have Goldberg win, even though Goldberg already lost to Drew McIntyre his last appearance, and he also lost to Braun Strowman at last year's WrestleMania. So maybe he does win. I hope he doesn't. I'm going to go ahead with Lashley, but yeah, this one, who knows at this point. Virtue, what do you think is going to happen?
You know, when I was doing Getting Color with Vito, we were picking the 2 big title matches here, and I can't remember who I picked. I think I might have just said Goldberg just for the F of it. But I don't remember. That was Sunday. I'm going to say Lashley will retain, but it's WWE. You never know. They could try something stupid. If Goldberg walks away with that title, I'll just be like, wow. But there ain't going to be much that happens in this match. We know it will be under 5 minutes, probably under 3 minutes, and I'm going to say Lashley will retain.
All right. We'll throw it over to the simple Noah Foster.
You know, it's one of those things where I feel like I should rant, but I would be using more energy than Goldberg has to put towards this match, so I'm not going to. That being said, yeah, Lashley has to retain. Please let this match be 2 minutes. I mean, heck, he beat Dolph Ziggler. We saw live Virtue at SummerSlam 2019 in literally, 1 minute and 47 seconds. Even I thought that was too long. Absolutely no reason Goldberg needs to be the WWE champion in 2021. The Almighty retains and moves forward. So please, Lashley, retain the title. I got Lashley.
All right, and we'll throw it over to Steve-O now.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Lashley retaining. There's always a chance Goldberg could win. Gage may get involved somehow. But, so, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm hoping that, the spear to close out Raw last night is just saying, hey, this is Goldberg's upper hand. Lashley will somehow win it. And that's the thing. Maybe they will have Gage come into play. Maybe they'll do some cheap tactic where Goldberg's about to win, but MVP grabs Gage and something, keeps him distracted, and Lashley does something cheap. It could even end in a DQ for all we know. But no, I don't think it would be a good idea for Bobby Lashley to lose this one. But Goldberg has lost his last 2 matches. Am I correct? Yeah, with Drew McIntyre and then Braun Strowman previously. So there's always the chance he could win. Maybe he will win, but this time it's just through a fluke DQ victory. Hopefully no title change, because I don't want Goldberg. I mean, I already struggle enough watching Raw as is, so I think Goldberg being the champion there would make it a little worse. Big E cashing in. I agree with you, Aaron. I think that's going to have to wait for a while. I don't see that happening anytime too soon. So, yeah, we'll go from there.
All right. Now, Virtue, if Vince Russo was booking this match, I feel like Gage would turn heel on his dad. Like, do you think there's any chance of that happening?
Being under 18, yeah, it could. Like I said, I think I said Goldberg was going to win on Sunday night just to be different. But obviously I have cold feet here on no DQ to say that. I don't think anything extracurricular will happen necessarily. So, I mean, it could, right? Because MVP will be out there too. So, who knows? I mean, what I wouldn't be surprised if Gage does something to MVP, right, just to knock him down or whatever, but it's enough distraction for Bobby Lashley to still capitalize on Goldberg. I don't know.
All right. And now we got our main event of the evening. The Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, defending his championship against the one, the only, Big Match John, the 16-time world champion John Cena, going for perhaps his 17th and record-breaking world championship. Now, when this match was first brought up, I thought for sure Roman Reigns is retaining, like no question about it. But then John Cena was announced for the Smackdown at Madison Square Garden, which is September 11th. And that got me thinking, maybe John Cena does win the title and then drops it back to Reigns at Madison Square Garden, and they do that big rematch before Cena goes off to do his movie. However, I'm going to stick with my initial thought process, and that's that Roman Reigns will retain the championship and he will stay dominant all the way up through WrestleMania. My pick is Roman Reigns to retain. Noah, we'll start with you on this one. What are your thoughts?
Remember when I said there were 3 matches I cared about truly this entire weekend that excited me the most? You talked about 2 of them. This is number freaking 1. Obviously, here again, it is about the freaking story. First off, you don't bet against Roman. Roman's retaining. That being said, the way they built this, where it catered around Roman's ability to be that top guy, be a promo, be the John Cena scene of the WWE, that preserved gem, Vince's boy, and John Cena now turning that against Roman in the case that Roman now is in that spot. You have all this protection against you. You have everything going for you. But all I need is 1, 2, 3. What I also find interesting here is the story based on promo. It's focusing on pinning the Tribal Chief, not submitting him. In most of Roman's matches, the way his story hasn't been interpreted, he has been beating his opponents via submission. We know both these men could go via submission or via pinfall. And I have a feeling this definitely could be our longest match of the night. Now, do I see things like a ref bump, for example, like Money in the Bank? Do I see the Usos getting involved? Do I see John Cena being screwed by somebody? Maybe Seth Rollins. I don't think so. But regardless, this is definitely the match of the weekend for me. Roman has to go over, and this is the next step forward towards ultimately what I think they're trying to do, and that is definitely Roman Reigns versus The Rock. As far as John Cena coming back for the show in September, they probably will set up some sort of filler feud for him in the meantime. And again, initially, it's like, yeah, maybe Vince, for some reason, has some idea that doing 50-50 booking with these two would be the right way to go. I think he truly would be beyond this realm if he did that. Regardless, how you look at this match, it's definitely going to be the match of the weekend. I cannot wait for this, but you're damn right, Roman Reigns is retaining, and we will acknowledge that.
All right, Steve-O, what are your thoughts on this match?
All right, yeah, keep going in and out, so I do apologize. Technology a little bit. But anyways, yeah, you know, I was thinking, okay, easy win for Roman. But yes, it's my recollection. Yeah, Cena does have a victory. I mean, Roman has a victory over Cena already. I remember they hyped some house show where Roman actually beats Cena there too. I don't know if you want to say that's 2 for 2 or if we're just going to pretend it's still only 1-1. Yeah, I mean, the fact that Cena is going to be extended through at least the SmackDown Madison Square Garden show, I'm going really back and forth on this. I'm like, do you really want to ruin a really long-term world title reign with Roman Reigns? Or do you want to just say, let's have one off, let's be the champion, let's have him Ric Flair's record, especially since he has taken off.
All right, he cut out, so we're going to come over to me. Okay.
Botch.
Right.
Go, Virtue.
So, first of all, I've already said this is going to be match of the year, and I'm going out on a limb because John Cena has not done this routinely for a while, and it's susceptible to maybe a slowdown, a botch. We'll see. But with that said, the interesting note here is John Cena, like what Aaron brought up earlier, Cena could win it and drop it back to Roman. And if Cena does win it, he will drop it back to Roman. And the reason why, if he could, because if he does win it, he'll be recognized by WWE as one more than Ric Flair, who just left and is hanging out with Tony Khan and Andrade and Omega. And this is a classic Vince McMahon. F you, Rick. You are no longer. I could see this happen, right? I could see this happen. But because it's against Reigns, I'm not going to make that my official prediction. I just wanted to present that if Cena did win, he will drop it right back to Roman soonish, and that'll put Cena ahead of Rick. But Roman Reigns, like Aaron said, will retain and remain dominant until he hopefully faces The Rock.
Yeah, the way I see it, based on your wrinkle of virtue, the only thing I would add to that, Finn Balor is the guy that takes the title off Cena, and then they finally do Finn versus Roman, because that was the original plan, and John Cena, he came in and took the contract, made it about himself. Honestly, Finn Balor could be the key factor here now that I think about it. He could come in and screw Cena.
Yeah, that's possible. The Game is on 100 sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, John Cena wins the 17th title due to Cena being on SmackDown at Madison Square Garden to give Roman the big win at Madison Square Garden. Yeah, that could happen. And maybe Finn Balor gets involved somehow. Maybe Cena wins the title and then drops it to Balor, and then Reigns has to go through Balor to get it back. Like there's a bunch of different ways it can go, but I'm sticking with Roman Reigns retaining the title straight up. And you know what? I would like to see John Cena not only lose, but I want to see him tap out to Roman Reigns. When's the last time John Cena gave up? Like his whole motto. I mean,
at least, yeah.
Yeah, maybe the very beginning of his career.
He surrendered to Miro. His body gave out on him when he faced Miro at one point when he was stuck in the Accolade.
Yeah. I'd like to see Cena actually physically tap out to the guillotine. I think that would take Reigns to the next level. He's already there, but that would solidify Reigns' position as the head of the table even more, put him over as the dominant champion. If you're really planning for The Rock versus Roman Reigns, I think Cena should tap out to Roman Reigns, and that builds Reigns all that more, and you can set up that match for WrestleMania. Steve-O, we keep having issues, but any other final thoughts? What is your prediction, by the way, before you cut out again?
Oh, the prediction. Yeah, I was leaning towards Cena winning, but I just think the safe bet is to vote for Roman Reigns to win. Although I could see it going with Cena by final pick.
Yeah, I agree with that, and he got it in right before he left. I agree that Roman Reigns will win, and Cena could win. Would not shock me if Cena did win, but I am going to stick with Reigns. All right, so that is, I think, everything we had to say about the pay-per-view. It should be an interesting show. Let's go ahead and do our plugs. Steve-O, since you're back, we'll go ahead and start with you if you want to go ahead and give us your plugs, anything you would like to promote.
All right, so yeah, thank you guys for having me on. I'm Steve-O, at SteveOJ on Twitter. You can follow also the Sweet Cosplay Wrestling page at 2Sweet Cosplay on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and even on YouTube. Thank you guys for having me on the show. I know I was watching more than Sabu. I appreciate letting me in anyway, so thank you for that. So I'll let you guys get going before I bounce off. That's for letting me be.
All right, thank you for that, Steve-O. Let's throw it over to the simple man, Noah Foster.
Been a while, gentlemen, since I was in Nashville last time you did this, but this was a lot of fun. Good to be back. Virtue, always a pleasure, man. Fellow Shays, man, in Ohio. That being said, folks, again, your opinions matter. No DQ Galaxy. You know what to do. The Predictions League forum is live on my Twitter as of right now. So follow me there. And if you want to know more about me, know this. I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of wrestling. Daggone right. So follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and even on YouTube. Just look up N Foster 1916. I'm doing collaborations with Wrestling Revolver X podcast, and follow my latest forum I created called the ATW View on my YouTube channel. URL is youtube.com/C/No Foster 210. And as always, I like to close. There are no winners, there are no losers, there are no bears. They're just fans with no opinions for this passion we all share. So at the end of the day, folks, support one another and respect each other. And just enjoy life and enjoy wrestling. And I'm sure I'll see Aaron for All Out. Simple as that. Take care, folks, and good luck.
Wait, me and All Out? I'm going to be at Big G's wedding.
Predictions panel, brother.
Oh, yeah.
If you do one.
All right, Virtue.
All right, so Noah wears sunglasses and he's cool. I wear sunglasses because I'm a jerk off, and I know there's a bunch of people that hate it and they're going to say something about it, right? Because remember, I didn't always used to do it, and as soon as somebody said, "Why are you wearing sunglasses indoors?" because I had my pupils dilated, now I wear them all the time because I am a jerk off. But you can follow me if you dare on Twitter at @NoDQ_Virtue. The No DQ review will be live this week, Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Yes, even heading into a WWE pay-per-view weekend, we will find topics to talk about, so join us there. Thank you.
All right, and of course, NoDQ.com to stay updated with news regarding SummerSlam. I will be doing the live results coverage on Sunday, and of course, I'll be back after the pay-per-view with my thoughts on the show. Thank you, Virtue. Thank you, Noah. Thank you to Steve-O. Even though we had some technical issues, he apologizes to everyone for that. But thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. And enjoy this weekend. It's going to be very noteworthy, very eventful. And take care, everybody. We will see you all next time.